The fitting room door swung open, and there stood my sister Natalie in a stunning white Valentino dress, twirling like she was at her own wedding. "This is the one," she squealed. "I'll look absolutely perfect at your funeral." I sat in my wheelchair, oxygen tube in my nose, skeleton thin from 6 months of aggressive chemotherapy, watching my younger sister model funeral outfits for an event where I'd be the guest of honor. Dead. "The white really makes her skin glow," my mother said, adjusting the hem. "Though black is traditional, white shows hope and new beginnings." "New beginnings," I repeated flatly. "At my funeral?" "Well, yes," Mom said, not even looking at me. "Natalie will need to move forward after you're gone. She's thinking of doing a speech about sisterhood. We're working on it together." I'd been given 3 to 6 months to live. That was 4 months ago. Stage 4 pancreatic cancer spread to my liver and lungs. The doctors called me a fighter. My family, apparently, called me a deadline. "Don't look so glum, Theresa," Natalie said, admiring herself in the three-way mirror. "This is really hard for me too. I mean, I'll be the only daughter after you're gone. That's a lot of pressure. I'm literally still alive." "Barely," she muttered, then louder. "We're just being practical. The funeral home said we need to plan ahead. They gave us a discount for early booking." "You booked my funeral?" "The good venues fill up fast," Mom explained. "Rosewood Chapel, the one with the stained glass. They had a cancellation for next month. We put down a deposit." Next month, they'd scheduled my death like a dentist appointment. "I need some air," I wheezed, rolling toward the door. "Oh, before you go," Natalie called out, "what do you think about an open casket? I know you've lost weight, but the mortician said they can plump things up. I want people to see how peaceful you look so they'll focus on comforting me." I rolled out of that boutique and into the mall, my mind reeling. 3 shoppers stared at me, the obviously dying woman in a wheelchair, with that mixture of pity and relief that it wasn't them. But they hadn't heard what I'd heard. They hadn't watched their sister try on designer dresses for their funeral while they still had a pulse. My phone buzzed. A text from my husband Eric. "How was shopping with your family?" Natalie picked out her funeral outfit for my funeral. Mom's helping her write her eulogy. "Please tell me you're joking." I sent him a photo I'd snapped of Natalie in the white dress, captioned with her actual quote about looking perfect at my funeral. Eric called immediately. "I'm coming to get you." "No, wait, I want to hear more about my funeral. Apparently, it's going to be quite the event." I rolled back to find them at the register. Natalie was charging the $3,000 dress to a credit card. "That's my Amex," I said, recognizing the card. "Oh, you weren't using it," Mom said dismissively. "And Natalie needs something appropriate. It's going to be a difficult day for her." Yorari sipiindi indi my moni on Andreas for my few many RAL that I am not even dead FOR yet." The entire store turned to stare. Natalie rolled her eyes. "God, Theresa, you're making a scene. This is why we didn't want to bring you, but you insisted on family time." "I insisted on lunch, not funeral fashion shows." "Well, we're multitasking," Mom snapped. "You should be grateful we're handling these details so you don't have to worry. I should be grateful you're planning my funeral like it's Natalie's sweet 16. "The world doesn't stop because you're dying," Natalie said coldly. "Some of us have to keep living. I'm going to be the one dealing with everyone's sympathy, fielding the calls, managing the estate." "What estate?" I laughed bitterly. "The medical bills have taken everything." "The life insurance," she said quickly, too quickly. I stared at her. "How do you know about my life insurance?" Mom shifted uncomfortably. "We just want to make sure everything's in order." "You've been going through my papers?" "You were in the hospital," Mom said defensively. "Someone had to handle things." The truth hit me like ice water. They weren't just planning my funeral. They were planning their payday. "How much?" I asked quietly. "What?" "How much is my life insurance policy?" "Since you've clearly already checked." Natalie lifted her chin. $500,000. "And before you get all high and mighty, we deserve it. We've been dealing with your illness for months." "Dealing with?" "I am the one dying." "And we're the ones watching," Mom said. "Do you know how hard it is for Natalie to see her sister like this? She's been so strong. She deserves something for her pain." Her pain, her pain. I was shaking now, rage giving me strength I hadn't felt in weeks. "She's buying funeral outfits with my credit card and counting my life insurance money, but she's the one in pain. You're being selfish, Natalie said. As usual, even dying, you have to make it all about you. That's when I decided. They had no idea what I would do next. Eric picked me up, and I spent the ride home in silence, planning. That evening, I made some calls. First, my lawyer, Patricia Simons. I need to change my will and life insurance beneficiaries immediately. Of course, who would you like to designate? St. Jude's Children's Hospital. Everything. Nothing for your family? They already got their funeral dress. Next, I called the funeral home. I understand my mother and sister made arrangements for my funeral. Yes, Ms. Morrison. A beautiful service planned. Your sister was very specific about the flower arrangements and music selections. Cancel it. I'm sorry. Cancel everything. I'm not dead. I don't consent to any arrangements, and if they try to book again, please note that only my husband, Eric Thompson, has authority to make arrangements on my behalf. But they paid a deposit. Then they can get it back, or not. I don't care, but there will be no funeral booked while I'm still breathing. Finally, I called my doctor. Dr. Patel, I need you to be honest. My latest scans, am I really dying as fast as you initially thought? He paused. Actually, I was planning to call you. Your tumors have been responding to the experimental treatment better than expected. I wouldn't call it remission, but you're not dying next month. Maybe not even next year. We need more tests. But there's reason for cautious optimism. I hadn't told my family about the experimental treatment. Why bother? They'd already buried me. The next morning, I posted on Facebook. Since my family has taken it upon themselves to plan my funeral while I'm still alive, including my sister buying a designer dress for the occasion on my credit card, I thought I should clarify. I'm not dead. Reports of my demise have been greatly exaggerated. Also, fun fact, planning someone's funeral while they're alive and can hear you discussing how peaceful they'll look in a casket? That's called psychological torture. P.S. Natalie, the white Valentino looked tacky, even for a funeral. The post went viral within hours. My phone exploded. Natalie called 17 times before I answered. You ABSO lead WTH, she screamed. How dare you humiliate me like this? How dare you try on funeral outfits like I'm already a corpse? It was practical planning. It was vulture behavior. Mom called next. Take that post down immediately. You're destroying Natalie's reputation. She destroyed it herself when she used my credit card to buy a dress for my funeral. She was grieving. I'm not dead yet. You will be soon, Mom snapped, then caught herself. I mean, you know what I mean. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. The family group chat exploded. Aunts, uncles, cousins, everyone had opinions. Most were horrified at Natalie and Mom. Some tried to play peacekeeper, but the damage was done. Then Natalie made a fatal error. She posted her own response. My sister is clearly suffering from end-stage paranoia. The medications have affected her mind. We were simply trying to spare her the burden of planning. The fact that she's attacking the people who love her most shows how far her mental state has deteriorated. Pray for her. She included a photo of her in the white dress with the caption, "The dress I bought to honor my sister's memory." She called it tacky, but grief makes people cruel. The comments did not go the way she expected. Girl, you bought a funeral dress while your sister is alive. This is giving can't wait for the inheritance energy. The caucasity of wearing white to a funeral. Ma'am, your sister has cancer, not dementia. Stop gaslighting. But my favorite, I hope she outlives you just for spite. 3 weeks later, I was still alive. The experimental treatment was working better than anyone expected. My tumors had shrunk by 30%. Dr. Patel called it remarkable. Natalie had to return the dress. The store wouldn't take it back after the viral incident, so she was stuck with a $3,000 reminder of her foolishness. Mom stopped talking to me entirely after I removed them both from my will. But the best revenge came naturally. 6 months later, I was in partial remission. Not cured, but stable. Living. I gained weight back, started walking again, even returned to work part-time. Natalie, meanwhile, had become internet infamous as the funeral dress sister. She lost her job when her employer saw the posts. Her boyfriend dumped her after reading the comments about inheritance. She had to move back in with our parents because she couldn't afford rent. She texted me, "I hope you're happy. You've ruined my life." "No," I replied, "you ruined your own life when you went shopping for my funeral. I just refused to die on schedule." A year later, I'm still here. Still fighting, still breathing, still very much alive. The white Valentino dress hangs in Natalie's closet, tags still on, a $3,000 monument to her premature celebration of my death. Mom occasionally sends passive-aggressive texts about how families should forgive each other. I respond with a screenshot of Natalie's credit card charge for funeral attire. They tried to bury me before I was dead. Instead, I buried their reputations 6 feet under while still breathing. The doctors say I might have years left, maybe decades. Medical miracles happen. And every single day I survive is a middle finger to the sister who couldn't wait for me to die. She wanted to look perfect at my funeral. Instead, she looks perfectly horrible to everyone who knows what she did. And me? I look alive. Beautifully, spitefully, miraculously alive. They had no idea what I would do next. I survived. That's the best revenge of all.